Well, hello, hello. So I am Nubia of Nubian Queen Nation podcast, and I have a special guest with me here today. I always call my guest special. And we're coming into International Women's Day, and I thought, what better person to interview for today than Miss Isis because she has traveled internationally already and before the age of 16. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself? I know you can just say New England and you don't have to say specifics as far as where live and stuff like that. But just tell me a little bit about yourself and where you did travel. And we'll start there.
Okay, definitely. So my name is Isis. I'm a junior in high school. I live in New England, and I recently came back from a study abroad trip in Morocco, sponsored by the State Department.
So when your mom told me that, I was like, that is so cool. Like I wish I could have just been in like your luggage and like went with you. Like so for you to well, first of all, like how did you even find out about the program and how much work did it take for you to be, chosen to go? Like did you have to do an essay? Did you, were there like finalists or, how did that all come about?
So I've always wanted to work for the State Department, and I still definitely do, probably as a foreign service officer, or just something where I get to work abroad. On that side of things. So I was looking at their website for different internships and programs that they had for high schoolers, and I found it. The program is called NISLE, the National Security Language Initiative for Youth. And yeah, the application process was pretty extensive. So to begin with, you had like a few essay prompts you had to do. I think like some short answer, and then an essay, and you had to answer questions. Your parents also had to do like their own statement, I guess, a testament to you. And you had to get like two or three recommendations. And transcripts. So transcripts, recommendations, short questions, short answer questions, and then like an essay.
Wait, and so at this time you were going to school, you weren't even going to school in New England, you were going to school in Mississippi. So were you probably doing majority of this work by yourself and then trying to communicate with your parents to get it all together?
And convincing them to like let me go.
And did anybody else that you know of, from your school or anybody else that you know of in your background that had ever done that before?
No, which made me want to do it even more because
Wow,
I didn't know anyone had done it. So I was like, I have to do this. But all of that was just to become like a semifinalist. So then I found out like sometime in December that I was a semifinalist, and I applied in like October or November. So then I had to go through an interview and get different like medical like evaluations and stuff.
So all this was going on in like 2021, and then you got to go in 2022, or was it all 2022?
It was okay. So process. 2021, and then the year switched in 2022. So I traveled abroad the summer of 2022. So I had to do all of that, and then I became a finalist once I went through the interview process and got like my clearing.
So you had to get your visa. You had to get a visa. Did you?
I didn't have to. No, I already had a passport. You don't need American citizens don't need visas to travel to Morocco.
Okay.
It just depends on like what country it is, and like which passport you have. Like some people have dual citizenship.
So I mean, my children, my daughters all had their passport because my daughter served during the Ukraine thing, and she was in Poland, and my daughters went to visit her. But for you to be 15 and you already had your passport in hand, like because you just knew that one day you were going to travel, or you had already used it to go somewhere else?
I knew it was gonna happen eventually. I'm just so impressed. I've been wanting it. My mom, she definitely wants us to go to Trinidad, where my dad's from, one day, and so I'd already had it for a while, and I just had to make sure it was up to date.
Wow, that is so cool. And all right, speaking of your dad being from Trinidad, my husband's from Jamaica, and my kids haven't even been there yet, but they will one day, one day soon. So I think that is so cool. So. The fact that you weren't even like really, you were just so excited that there's no fear at all. Like you were just so excited. So you said that so from Mississippi, did you have to come back to New England or did you go straight from there to California? Because you said there was a group of you that went together.
Oh, I went to California like a few weeks ago for a conference. That was something else. No, that was something else.
We were talking in the car. Okay.
An education conference.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So like the way that the timeline went, so school ended for me in like March. Not in March, in May.
Okay.
In like mid-May, and then I went back to Connecticut for a couple of weeks. I still had to get some medical paperwork, make sure like I had like you need all of your COVID vac cards up to date, like uploaded, and your passport and all of that. So I was in Connecticut for a couple weeks, and then we left at the beginning of June. I think it was like the 6th, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So I spent a couple of weeks in Connecticut, and then they flew us down to DC for like a 2-day orientation so we could meet each other, get a good introduction of like what the program is, just some like very basic like words and phrases that we might come across from our PSAs.
And so what was do they speak Swahili there, or do they speak English? They speak English, I'm sure. But what was their main, do you remember what's their main language?
So their main language is Arabic, actually.
Okay.
So Morocco is in northern Africa,
right.
like kind of like on the Iberian Peninsula. And they border the Mediterranean and the Atlantic. So the main thing that the people speak is Arabic. There's also the indigenous people, like broadly speaking, like they're called Amazi. So they speak like Amazigh. Or no, they're Amazigh, but they speak Amazi. So there's that language. So the 2 official languages are Arabic and Amazi, I think. But they also speak French because they were a French colony and their protectorate. So most of the government things. Sounds like you did a
lot of research on that.
No, I mean, like, I was there for, like, 2 months, and, like, when you talk to, like, your host family and, like, friends that you make, language partners, like, they also talk to you about this stuff, so it was, like, a combination of, like, me, like, researching online beforehand, and then, like, meeting and, like, interacting with people. But, yeah, so 3 languages, the indigenous one, Arabic, and French. And then English is kind of starting to come into fashion now, and more, like, college students are wanting to learn it.
And so the people who traveled with you, was it a party of, like, 10 people, or how many people got to go over there with you?
I'd say like approximately 20, and we were aged like, I was 15. Okay, so it was like 15 to like 18. Yeah, it was like really, it was a good group, and we were all high schoolers. We were all like super academically motivated, and we all wanted to do like a variety of different things. Not all of us wanted to go into the foreign service or even become like diplomats or politicians. Like some people were into STEM, pre-med, things like that. We just both, like we all had interest in learning about different cultures and languages and experiences.
That is so cool. So 2 months. So what was like one of the best things? I mean, I can just imagine the foods, and I know I saw a picture of you because our local paper did an article on you, and you were standing on that beautiful balcony. Like, did you just choose that? Was that just a picture that you had, or?
It was a picture I had so we went to the American legation in Tangier. We took like a number of excursions to like some cities. And that's a picture I took there. I have so many pictures. I'll show you them afterwards.
Show me some because I can. Well, you can send a picture over to me, whatever one you want me to use for the cover of the for the YouTube page and for the what am I doing? My voice podcast. Yeah. So. My goodness. So what are some of the foods that you liked? I can just imagine the smells and the taste and the clothing. Did you go? Yes. So did you stay in your American clothes, or did you buy some clothes while you're there?
Okay, so like, let me think. Okay, so I'll answer the clothes question first.
Yeah, I'm over.
No, I love talking about it. It was such a great experience for me. So I mainly did wear American clothing, and most people, at least, so I was in the capital, Rabat, and most people in the capital did wear, like, pretty Western clothing. Like, typically speaking, like, the older you got, like, the more, like, conservative and, like, traditional it was. But, like, everyday people, even, like my age, would be wearing, like jalebas, like, they're, like, the traditional dress. And it's, like, just a very casual thing to wear. Like, for our final...
it's like a long dress. Like, I know that I was in Saudi, like, we called it abaya. So it's not like an abaya?
No, that's something else. So, like, it has, like, hoods, and I'll show you a picture, because I have one. And it's actually in my closet right now. Yeah. So I actually got that because for our final celebration, we had, like, this big Moroccan party, and we wore Moroccan traditional dress. So, yeah, I did buy some clothes there. They have this store called, I cannot think of it right now, but it's, like, this super popular, like, Turkish store. And, like, they're really big in Turkey, but, like Turkish culture.
I was stationed in Turkey, yeah.
What part?
Incirlik, because I was in the Air Force, and so, Incirlik Air Base.
Oh, my God.
So merhaba.
Oh, thank you.
I have one of my daughters would teach English online, and she had students from all over the world. And I said, whenever you get somebody from Turkey, just say merhaba. And she says, Mom, okay, this is not,
No, it's a nice thing to say. Like, okay, so in Arabic we say marhaba, but it means welcome.
Okay. Yeah.
And and it's like it's such a nice thing to say. Like, it makes you feel.
It's been a long time since I've been there, so I just remember merhaba. And I know that whenever you go into the shops to go shopping, they would serve you chai tea, and so then when somebody. So I just remember after they served me, I would say, it sounds really weird, but I would say, alas maladik, which I think means thank you in that language.
Okay.
So, those are the only two words that I remember is alas maladik, because I just love saying that. And then merhaba.
I love that. No, I actually started implementing, like, some Arabic words, like, into, like, my everyday life. Like, we have a group chat, like, the cohort that I went to, and we still, like, mix in, like, so much, like, Arabic and, like, Darisha, which is, like, the local dialect, and it's so funny. And even with my family, so now they've started, like, repeating what I say to them. At first, I thought it was really weird, and then they're just like, okay, we're going with this.
And so what about, like, I remember being in Turkey, now you reminded me of that. We had, like, Adana kebab, like, so they eat, well, you don't eat a lot of meat. But when I was in Turkey, we ate like Adana kebab, and it was like a lot of lamb. And then instead of eating regular cheese, they had like goat cheese, you know. And it didn't really make the pizza and those type of things taste any different. So so did you get to experience like any type of like pizza, or did you have a bread called ekmek? I know that when I was in Turkey, their bread was called ekmek.
I haven't heard of that. So in Rabat, like a bread that's very unique to the area is called misinman.
Okay.
But like it's typically a breakfast bread. I love it so much, and you would just get it from like a local shop, which are called hanuts, and they're kind of like convenience stores. So you could just go get it there like every day.
Was it like a loaf of bread? Because this is flat
like,
bread.
Yeah, it's like flat and it's like layered and flaky, and it's like I don't know how to describe.
That sounds really good. Did they have like sesame seeds on it? Okay, ours the one in Turkey had like
sometimes you
was
could put,
buttery.
Like, okay, yes, it was buttery because you like toasted it and heated it up, and you could put like this like cumin mixture on it, which my host family is fond of doing, and like cream cheese. But yeah, I don't think Moroccans are big dairy people. Like cream cheese and butter. I think that might be because of French influence though, like the cream cheese stuff. And yeah, they're not really big dairy people, but I know kebabs are really popular, and like what are those rotating things called? Right.
I don't know, but
I don't eat meat, so like I don't know.
It would stand up really tall.
Yes.
And then they would slice the meat down. Yeah.
They don't call them gyros.
Right.
But that's essentially what it was, a gyro.
Okay.
And those are really popular. Shawarma.
Okay.
Shawarma. That's what it's called.
Okay.
I had to think about it.
Okay, because we actually just had gyros the other day, right? Didn't we, son? Somewhere in the other room. Yeah. So if you're in a country like that, even on a daily basis, like what did you eat? Because are they heavy on meats there, or did you like? What did you like salads and what did you find to eat? Or what was your favorite? So I'll put it that way.
Ooh, okay. I love couscous, and like every Friday. So because Morocco is a Muslim country, like every Friday, like they have couscous. I don't know if this is because they're Muslim, but they are. And every Friday around lunchtime, like couscous was like super super popular to eat. So I'd always eat it. Sometimes I stayed with a Moroccan host family. So sometimes my host mom would make it on Fridays, but like most of the time she didn't, only a few times. So
did it have like diced onions and green red pepper? Like what did they? I can like it's like a cold couscous. Is that what they did?
No,
like a salad.
Like hot. Like it was hot, and it was presented kind of in something that looked like a tagine pot, which is like. I'll show you a picture of it. It's like a triangle on top of a cone on top of a cone. Okay. If that makes sense. Like a flat cone top of another flat cone.
I guess I need to see a picture.
And it was it's hot couscous, which is like a type of wheat, and it could be served with a lot of different things like carrots, different types of squash. I got vegetarian because
sounds so good.
I am a vegetarian. I don't eat any meat, but like I know chicken and lamb was super popular, and then like they also have like these caramelized onions, which are so good. I don't even like onions. I do, but I loved those. So I'd say extra please. And like this type of like sauce that like you poured over.
Was it like a cucumbery?
No, it was like a warm. I don't even know what it was made out of. No, it was. I'll show you a picture of it. I don't know what it was. I would put it on. It could have had meat in it. I have no idea. But
you said, Mom, I didn't know it had meat in it. Okay.
Exactly. I just be like, okay, thank you. Yes, please. And it was so good. No, I'll show you pictures. Like it's like a very big portion. Like I'd always have leftovers.
Wow.
And no, Like,
So what else was
so
it?
good.
So that was one of your favorites. What
Love
was the next
couscous.
another thing that was a favorite for you?
Oh, that's
And
hard.
was it just couscous by itself? Oh, they would have meat and you would just have the couscous.
So it
And
would
bread
be like,
probably. Or...
well, no, because it's like a wheat. So like you don't like if it's a grain with more bread, it would just be like kind of bricky. So it's like couscous on the bottom, and then you have like the vegetables, and you have like the onions on the side, and like you have the sauce. So it's like a full meal. Like it's very hearty. Like even if you don't have the meat with it. It's
see,
just,
you're gonna have to come back and make that for me and invite your mom over and whatever.
So when I tell you, like I have dreams of it. It was so good. Like
say the name of it again. So I'm gonna have to go.
Couscous.
Well, but was there another name for the whole dish?
No, just
okay,
couscous.
Okay, all right.
And then something else. Oh my God, there's this thing. So like, so there's this thing called like a Medina, which is basically like, so technically in Arabic, Medina means city.
Okay.
But like in this context, it was like a walled off part of the city, where like different like artisans were, or like traders, people would have stalls there. And my language partner, like she'd take me there, and we would like hang out, we'd go shopping, we'd go do different things. And oh my God, she introduced me to literally like every time we went there, I would always ask her, where is it? Because like it's so like it was very hard for me to navigate, and most people can't because it's like a big maze, and it's hard to like remember like which is which. So like I knew how to get out, but like I didn't know how to find.
But finding a specific spot was
okay. But the food was called makuda, and it's so good, and it's like these fried potatoes, which is like the actual like makuda. Like I don't know if the actual meal is called anything, but those are the potatoes. And then like the Medina was like right on the coast. They'd have fresh bought fish. And then we fry it up, and I don't eat fish, but a lot of people put that in. They had this really good hot sauce, and it was like inside this bread, with like the hot sauce and the fish. You could throw like onions and different things, and it was so good. And then their falafel was so good. I know there's a big argument about like where falafel originated, but still I ate it a lot in Morocco, so I will say like it was a good thing in Morocco.
So where do people think that falafel? Because other people are always trying to claim something that sometimes came from.
So I think it came from the Middle East. Like I know I was in a Moroccan restaurant once, and I was like, "Do y'all have falafel?" Because like they didn't have anything without meat on their menu. It was like meat on like bread. And they're like, no, we're a Moroccan restaurant, we don't serve that. So like I don't think it is Moroccan, but a lot of places would have it, especially like just like as a street food, because like it's portable, like it's cheap. I think I've gotten it for like as low as like 70 USD, which is like pretty cheap. Yeah, like it was just like a really good portable street food, so love that.
Not 70 USD would be $70 in American money.
No, 70 cents USD.
So 70 cents.
Yes, what? It was great. I loved it. I was like, yes, please.
Okay. Oh my goodness. So 2 months. So how were you able to communicate with your family? Like I know. So when my daughter went to Poland, she used like WhatsApp and she used some other apps. And I know that So did you use that or did you use another form of communication?
So I used WhatsApp. I also used like iMessage. Like I could FaceTime people. I couldn't. So I could do FaceTime audio too. I couldn't call people because I would have had to like buy data there. And like for 2 months, I was like, I'm fine. I could use WhatsApp if not like Apple stuff.
Right.
So that's how I did it. And then we also were given burner phones because like this was a government program. Oh wow. So they wanted to keep very close track of us.
Oh wow, yeah.
And we had like emergency numbers and stuff with like people we could call like within the country. Like yeah, there was like an emergency contact and all the people like from the language center, like our coordinators. So I had a burner phone on me and then I had like my like phone.
That is so cool. So I'm just curious, out of the 20 people that went, and I'm sure, like you said, it was a government program. So was it very diverse, or was it mainly African Americans, or did you have a really diverse group that wanted to go over to Morocco?
It was like incredibly surprising, but it was super diverse. Like I was so happy to see it, not just like regionally, but like ethnically, like religion wise. It was just like a really nice blend. There were like a number, like there was like Hispanic people, Indians, there was someone from Taiwan, Vietnam. Yeah, there's like Poland.
Okay.
Yes, he's actually fluent in Polish. There's a girl that was from, well, her family's from Turkey and she's fluent in Turkish. So I thought that was really funny. But yeah, it was like a really great diverse mix from all over the US and like with a lot of different like ethnic backgrounds.
And I know that when I was because I was in Saudi and I was in Turkey, and I now in Turkey, I wasn't required. I had to wear the abaya,
Mm-hmm.
and because my hair is dark and
Mm-hmm.
because my skin is dark, I didn't have to wear a head covering.
Mm-hmm.
So that none of those things, you didn't have to do any kind of head covering or whatever because of being in Morocco, because of maybe their religious beliefs.
No, I didn't have to do that. So like comparatively, like Morocco is like a pretty like liberal country for
Mm-hmm.
like the region of the world that it's in. And like because I was in a big city, like if I was like in a small town, and there were certain neighborhoods like within the city that were like more conservative than others. But like I lived in an area that was like near like the university and the financial districts,
Like very metropolitan.
Yes, so like people they didn't dress conservatively. I didn't have to
Okay.
wrap my hair. The only time I did have to cover myself was when we went to a mosque in Casablanca.
Okay.
It was so nice. So I'll show you pictures. It was so beautiful. But that was the only time, and that was just out of respect. Like we had to cover our shoulders at least, not necessarily our hair, but like
for us it was the shoulders and the ankles, which is really weird. When I was in Saudi, you couldn't don't show those sexy ankles because they actually had religious police in Saudi. So
I've heard of that. I think they might follow Sharia law though, so it's different. And like Morocco doesn't do that.
Okay.
But it's like according like to the Quran, and like it's very like tied to religion and stuff. But Morocco isn't like that. So most like major cities, like we went to Tangier, Casablanca, and Marrakesh, and each of those cities were like pretty liberal, and they each had like a lot of like international people living there. So like they didn't follow those norms either. She's telling me what she's in.
Okay. So wow. So would you ever go back again? I mean,
definitely,
now you have that passport
to.
and you got that travel bug in you. So what are some other places that you'd like to travel?
Okay, that's such a good question. I want to go to the Netherlands. I just like their architecture a lot. It looks really cool. Yeah, like in my IR class a lot, like we're talking about like the Peace Palace and stuff.
Okay, so what's
and, like,
IR stand for?
Oh, and I take it in international relations class because that's actually what I want to study in college.
Jeez,
and yeah, they have a lot of stuff there. So definitely there. I want to go to Mexico. I love Mexican food.
I've been to Mexico. Yeah.
Really? Yeah. When I was in California, they have like a huge like Mexican scene, and it was super cool seeing that.
Yeah, I only got to go because I worked for besides being in the military, Continental Airlines, which does not exist anymore.
You were wait.
I wasn't a flight attendant. No, I was a reservation agent. So.
Oh, I did not know that. That's so cool.
That was before all my children were born. So
and then they
closed. Yeah, different. And matter of fact, I stopped doing it because started to become a mom and everything like that. But wow. So I am just so thankful first of all that you were able to have this conversation with me. I've been wanting to do this conversation, and I've known little Miss Isis since she was like probably 4 years old or so.
Probably
somewhere around. She's around the same age as my son. So I don't know. Do you have any other questions that you'd like to have the audience know about you? I mean, I know that we don't want them to know exactly what school you went to, but what are some ideas of schools or states that you'd like to go to to college?
Probably like okay, I've been looking at a lot of schools like in DC and like in New York and Boston. I feel like those are like really generic like cities. Like literally everyone wants to go to school there. But like they're really cool cities. Like I don't live in a big city now, so I just like want to be able to like go out and like explore places and just be able to meet like a lot of like diverse people. And like a place that like would afford me those opportunities. So.
Well, I do have a daughter in DC. She absolutely loves it. She says she's not going to come back. I'm like, please come back to visit. And then she actually was in New Hampshire at one time, and that was fun. She'd like to go to the city, to Boston, to visit. And then the other daughter went to school in upstate New York. So, and the other one is traveling with the military. And, but it's really, especially when you grow up in a small town like ours, which we won't say out loud, it is nice to get out and go to the big cities because I think even when I was in my 20s, you kind of want to go and do that city thing. And then sometimes you land there and you stay there, but sometimes you end up coming back to a small town like this, which I can't imagine you coming back to our small town.
Okay, fingers crossed.
Yeah. But yeah, so when you go to college, you said you want to study something political?
Either international relations or like political science, probably with like double minoring like econ and like either like Arabic or French or language.
That's so neat. So what, French? Did you pick up any French when you were over there in Morocco?
Like restaurant French. Like my French is absolutely terrible, but I know enough to like read a menu and like say like I want this. Yes. No, not with that.
Yeah.
Those
That
are
is so
the
cool.
limits of my French.
I don't think you said what your second food was, or did you? You said you liked the couscous.
I like I said I liked falafel. My dad loves it too. I don't know why I forgot. And then makuda, I like the potatoes.
Oh, okay.
Those are super good.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to come back and maybe we do a cooking class, invite your mom over,
That'd be fun.
Yeah, that'd be fun. So thank you again for this time. I totally appreciate it.
me.
I've been wanting to have this conversation. I really wanted to have you and all. It would have been cool to have your sisters and my daughters and them and my son to have.
And him.
Yeah, to have a conversation, but we can always do that for sometime in the future.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Okay. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And this has been Nubia of Nubian Queen Nation podcast. And then you can check us out on YouTube at Nubian Queen 04. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye. Oh, don't forget to like, subscribe, and
comment.
Yeah, comment below if you have any questions for Isis. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.